Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing an early look at the newest Mega Evolution in the world of Pokemon Go, Mega Mawile. Mega Mawile, much like the regular Mawile, is a Steel and Fairy type Pokemon, and at level 50, it gets to 2691 CP. This is of course much too low for the Master League, so like I've done with a couple of the lower combat power Megas in the past, I'm going to be testing it out in some Great League practice battles to see what would it look like if Megas were ever allowed in the Open Great League. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and take a look at some Open Great League practice battles with a Mega twist. Hopping into the first match, we have a battle of Mega Pokemon, Mega Mawile versus Mega Beedrill. Drill Run will hit for super effective damage, so I will commit a shield just to get baited with an X-Scissor, and we see a switch out into Force Palm Lucario. I fire off the Power-Up Punch to get a little bit of chip damage. My opponent no shields, and now I bring in Gastrodon. Gastrodon looking for a farm down. I'm just going to no shield whatever they have here. It only ends up being a Power-Up Punch, so they're on Power-Up Punch plus Thunder Punch. They're probably not going to be sending in the Beedrill. They should be sending in their final Pokemon, and it's revealed to be a Donphan. Donphan, I will be firing off the Body Slam, as even a Body Slam would do quite a lot. I try to wait the turn, and my opponent still gets the catch onto the Beedrill. I'm going to undercharge, but that catch now complicates things severely, because Donphan does have access to Trail Blaze, and Trail Blaze are basically one shot for Alligator. They have a lot of energy. I am going to respect the Trail Blaze. It's going to be the Body Slam bait. I throw one, switch, catch the Trail Blaze, and sneak. So I get the Ice Fang through. This Donphan is now boosted. Their Mud Slap gets the KO. Feraligatr gets the Shadow Claw farm down. And we escape with a Game 1 win by the narrowest of margins. Great lead in the next match. Mega Mawile versus Ariados. Ariados going to bank a lunge, save switch into Dugong. And this was just a bad habit that I had in these battles. I would throw a Power-Up Punch to get a little bit of chip damage. My thought process here was that it will more easily put it into double Hydro plus Shadow Claw range, but I think that I could have just switched instantly, and still it would have been in double Hydro plus Shadow Claw range, so I think that was just a waste of energy on my part. Because I will get the back-to-back Hydros, and this will be able to knock out, which is great. So now my opponent, they can choose to send in the Ariados if they'd like, but they have other plans. They're going to bring in Greninja. Unfortunately, my game does stutter there as the Greninja is farming up. I fire off the Hydro Cannon, and they will shield. Greninja looking for the farm down. They get the farm down, and a Greninja with 7 Water Shurikens of energy. This is incredibly scary. I send in Gastrodon. I know that I can always tank a move, so I'll let the first go. Hydro Cannon connect. That deals some substantial damage. Opponent is at 2 more Hydro Cannons. I am going to commit the shield, and then I'm going to go for a Body Slam. This is a CMP tie. Now my opponent cannot switch out and save the Greninja. Instead, they're going to have to decide, do they want to protect the Greninja, or do they want to save the shield for Ariados? They're going to let it go, saving the shield for Ariados. I switch in the Mawile as they fire off their energy, and they went for the lunge. Honestly, a pretty smart play, anticipating the switch out. They did have a Trailblaze banked, but they realized that I was not just going to let them Trailblaze my ground plus water type for no reason, and now they're going to go for the Trailblaze to boost up their damage. I'm going to fire off the Power-Up Punch. Power-Up Punch is going to bring my attack back to normal. This game is going to come down to, can 3 Mud Slaps KO Ariados? This will be very, very close. Ariados withstands the damage and gets the move. Oh my goodness, we had such a good lead, but Ariados up a shield is just a nightmare, and my opponent will take the win. Picking up a negative lead in the next match here, as I lead into a Clodsire, save switch into Feraligatr, and what has come back from the dead but a Noctowl to greet the Feraligatr save switch. I land the Ice Beam, and landing the Ice Beam is absolutely massive. Noctowl is very bulky, but his pacing is absolutely terrible. My opponent is going to go for the Shadow Ball. I believe it does also get Nightshade now as well. Nightshade, we haven't really seen used on a lot of Pokemon. My opponent knows that I'm doubled up, so they're just going to let that through. But honestly, Nightshade not being used is much less about Nightshade not being a good move, because Nightshade is great, but more so just an indictment of the fact that it wasn't given to very good Pokemon. I bring in the Gastrodon. I decide to shield, trusting that Gastrodon will be decent in the back, and it's going to be a Mega Sableye. Mega Sableye, very similar stats to the regular Sableye. I'm going to bait with the Body Slam, and the bait is successful. I know that I live a foul play, so I'm not too worried about this, but then I remember Oh, this could be a return, and it is the return, but rank 1 Gastrodon barely hanging on, firing off the Earth Power, forcing the shield, and now in comes the Mawile. Mawile looking for a farm down. We're going to see Sableye firing off its energy. They're at a return. They go for it. That does big damage. In comes the Clodsire, and Mawile gets that farm down. Mawile needs a lot of help in this meta. And with that farm down, it gets to the play rough and is able to secure the win. We're leading a fairy type into a dark type, but that is not a great spot to be in here as I lead into Malamar. Malamar has an amazing matchup versus Mawile, so I'm forced to switch out into the Feraligatr. My opponent now going to respond with a Mega Ampharos. So we are seeing some very cool Megas from the opponents here. Again, Mega Pokemon are not currently allowed in Go Battle League, but this is more of a test of like what it would look like if they were. Now this Ampharos is on Trailblaze, which means, unfortunately, I can't bring in the Gastrodon Ice Fang shredding through the Ampharos, but Ampharos is able to withstand the damage, make a Trailblaze, and Mawile just cannot take a hit, my goodness. In comes, oh my goodness, in comes the Malamar, but I get the Play Rough. Do they know about the Play Rough? They do. They shield. I bring in the Gastrodon, and they have so much energy. Them shielding that Play Rough was absolutely the right call, because now I think I'm in serious trouble. Foul Play is going to connect. In the back is Zapdos. Here, I probably should have gone for double Body Slam, but I was thinking, you know what? Earth Power should hopefully allow a farm down, but it barely does not. The Earth Power, it comes very close to setting up the farm down that I was after, but I can't get that farm down. They would make another Drill Peck. Drill Peck is 5-4 pacing. I'm forced to go for the Body Slam to pick up the knockout, and Malamar is just going to be able to take me out. Switch Clock was up, but I just have to make the perfect prediction there, and I thought they would farm more. So, good game to my opponent. We do not win that one. Good lead in the next match. Mawile versus Low Kicks. Opponent safe switches into Toxapex. And this is kind of what this team needs. Like, even though I'm running 2 extremely strong meta Pokemon in the back, we kind of need to just hard counter people to get wins. I very quickly realized that Mawile, despite the fact that it is 2 amazing, amazing Pokemon in the back, Mawile is really not beating much of anything. Its win rate, and here I'm actually going to go well over 100, just because since my opponent threw an alignment, I can actually fully farm down, and then I just have to watch for what they bring in. They bring in a Azumarill, anticipating that I'd go for the blind Body Slam, expecting a Low Kicks, but instead I'll just go for the Earth Power. And now I get a second Earth Power. But if you just look across the open Great League meta, Mega Mawile, unfortunately, it just really does not do what you want it to do win rate wise. It is in a very tough spot as far as Megas go. My opponent is going to shield up the Power-Up Punch. Anything they throw here is resisted, but I will commit the shield, as it's probably going to be the Trailblaze, but I just need to get Ice Fangs on this thing. I go for the Power-Up Punch. I lose Charge Type priority to the Low Kicks. So not only does the Mawile not have the greatest stats, but the Mawile also isn't winning a lot of CMP ties. Power-Up Punch will pick up the KO. In comes the Azumarill, and I can just bring in Feraligatr. This Hydro Cannon should just about KO the opponent. Hydro Cannon, they survive on 1 HP, but they know a Play Rough won't KO, so they're just going to let that through. The Dream Lead, Mawile into Jumpluff. No way we mess this up. In comes a Drapion safe switch. Oh, we are absolutely thriving. Oh my goodness. Crunch is going to connect. Crunch does not get the debuff. I'm going to go for a Body Slam. This won't KO, but I can Mud Slap down after. My opponent actually ends up shielding. My worry now is the Jumpluff being brought back in. I can't pivot out because I have Feraligatr, but they're going to get a lot of farm from my Gastrodon. So I'm going to bring in the Jumpluff. I'm going to farm up and fire off the Body Slam. My goal is to just overfarm, and hopefully they're just going to force their energy. So I could have thrown the Body Slam there. And in hindsight, I think I should have thrown the Body Slam there, because even if they overfarm, then that's just damage that I can guarantee, because in the back is a Kanto Marowak, and this is very bad, because Kanto Marowak, oh no, Kanto Marowak, even as the non-shadow, I mean, the shadow's absolutely better, but even the non-shadow, I think the Bone Club might knock me out here, and I'm going to be 1 turn short. If this Bone Club KOs, I think I actually lose. The Bone Club, it does KO, no! I bring back in the Mawile. I'm going for this Power-Up Punch. I need the Power Punch to boost the Ice Fang so they can't get the Bone Club. They're 1 away. Can they get there? They cannot. Back in comes the Jumpluff. Jumpluff going to fire off the Aerial Ace. Oh, they actually go for an Energy Ball. That does quite a lot of damage. I'm looking for the farm down, and I cannot get there. And unfortunately, despite the amazing lead, Mawile just not the greatest at closing out games. We've got a serious blast from the past in the next match, leading into an Altaria. Opponent safe switches into a Azumarill. I don't have an amazing response to a Azumarill on this team. Again, the entire thought process behind the team was Mawile beats all the grasses, and then you have stuff in the back that can beat fires, because Mawile can't really deal with fires. Here, I will be shielding up the Play Rough. Opponent could actually under-tap their Play Rough on alignment, but instead they're going to go for good timing. This is going to allow me to fire off the Hydro. My opponent, oh, they're actually shielding. They really want to get shields down. I'm more than happy to give up shields. I'm expecting they're going to bring in the Altaria and just sacrifice it, because Altaria, realistically, is not going to be able to do much against the Mawile. Like, Mega Mawile is very frail, but even Mega Mawile, I think, can tank a charge attack from an Altaria, but they actually shield. I was very surprised at that shield. I still do get the Hydro, which is very, very nice. So we'll get to fire off this Hydro. That does a little bit of chip damage, and then it's back into Mega Mawile. In the back is a Mega Slowbro. Mega Slowbro. It can learn, among other things, I believe, Surf. It can learn Scald, Ice Beam. Let's see what they're running. It's Surf. That does a lot of damage, but Gastrodon is able to hang on and fire off the Earth Power. Earth Power is going to connect, and I will be able to get that farm down. In comes the Altaria. I should have just thrown the Slam instantly. Man, you can tell that, I mean, it's not super late at night at the time of recording it. It is after 10, but unfortunately, I'm not making the greatest of plays, but Mawile actually take the charge move for the first time ever, and we're able to take the win. We move to the next match, leading Mega Mawile into Clodsire, and this, I believe, was the first game that I led into Clodsire, and I very quickly realized this is a terrible matchup, and I need to just switch out into Feraligatr. Because if I switch into Feraligatr, I can save the Mawile and also hide the fast move. Whereas now my opponent has their own Feraligatr, it's up energy, and I'm in a really uncomfortable position where I'm forced to give up my final shield. That is really, really bad. I'm down 2 shields. I need to try and make up ground somewhere. I'm going to go for a Body Slam bait into a farm down. The Body Slam actually gets shielded. Now I can fire off the Earth Power. Earth Power guaranteed knockout here. It will do way more damage than they have health, and they're going to let that through. In the back is a Galarian Moltres. Okay, I have the alignment that I want. I have the Mega Mawile. I will go for the bait. Mawile is going to be resisting every charge attack from this Moltres. So hopefully I should be in a pretty decent spot here. They're going to fire off their Brave Bird. Brave Bird into my... Oh, it almost one-shots! No! It almost one-shots. Oh, that is terrible. But there's still a win con. If I can double up on the Feraligatr, I can win this game. Come on, can I get there? I run out of HP. If I had a slightly better Shadow Feraligatr, I could have doubled up in one, because a Hydro plus the power-up punch would have been enough to knock out, but unfortunately, my Gator not good enough to get the double up, and I will lose the match. We move to the next match, leading the Mega Mawile into a Mega Medicham. Looks like he was on Psycho Cut as well. I save switch into Feraligatr. Feraligatr quickly answered by Low Kicks. Low Kicks can fire off the Trailblaze here. I decide to let it go. They go for an X-Scissor instead, and I'm going to bring in the Mawile. I just want farm on the Mawile, so that way I'm going to be able to make it to a potential Play Rough versus the Medicham. Opponent going to go for another X-Scissor there. Looking for the farm now, but they get to a last-second move. Oh, well, I should resist all of it. Oh, they're not actually running it. They're running Dark Pulse instead. In comes Mega Medicham, and I will full send the Play Rough. Play Rough, shielded up. In comes Gastrodon. And with Psycho Cut, they're going to be spamming out Dynamic Punches pretty quickly. So I will commit the shield. And then I should be able to make it to an Earth Power here. Opponent catches onto an Empoleon. I don't know if it's Shadow or not. I'm going to go for an undercharge, but it's the Shadow. It fully one-hit KOs. And now what this comes down to is, can I live a Dynamic Punch from Mega Medicham? Surely I survive. And I do, thank goodness. No thanks to the Mega Mawile, but we are going to be able to take the win. Hopping into the final match, Mega Mawile versus Diggersby. I have Ice Fang, but it's still a bad matchup. Opponent save switches into Feraligatr. And man, who knew that having an answer to a Feraligatr save switch would probably be a good thing for a team? Clearly I didn't, because I didn't bring one. And now I'm in a lot of trouble. As I get outpaced, they get 2 before I even get to my first Earth Power. I'm forced to shield, and things are looking a bit grim. I will go for the Body Slam into Feraligatr. Body Slam is going to be no shield, but they're just letting it go. Will they bring in the Diggersby? Because Diggersby can survive an Earth Power. Diggersby, they can get this farm down, and they can no-shield this, because an Earth Power Not a problem for the Diggersby. I bring in the Mawile. I'm going for the power-up punch, needing to ramp up my damage, but these Ice Fangs are just not doing what you would want them to do against the Diggersby, and I believe they're at the back-to-back Scorching Sands here, so I will commit the shield. There's another Scorching Sands, and I think this is goodbye to the Mawile. Mawile hangs on 1 HP. In the back is Shadow Drapion, and I think this is just going to be a loss. Shadow Crunch does too much damage in the Great League, so I will commit the shield. But my opponent can overfarm, and Crunch is going to be good night to my Feraligatr, as even a high rank Feraligatr is not surviving that. All in all, the Mega Mawile Raid Day should be a fun one to participate in, as I believe we do get some free passes, and since it's a Mega Raid, you get a guaranteed charge TM for each raid that you do. As far as Mega Mawile in potential future Great League Mega metas, I think, unfortunately, it feels pretty worthless. Even if you run different movesets on it, like it has Fire Fang, it has Astonish, it has Fairy Wind, realistically, its pacing is just never good with any of those movesets. And for a Pokemon of its stats, it would really need better pacing to compete. So, realistically, it would probably want a cheaper charge move that isn't Power Up Punch would go a decent ways towards helping it. But in general, I think this is more of just a play it to have fun. Maybe if there was a future Ultra League limited meta, I think with the better stat product in Ultra, maybe it could perform somewhat better. But as far as the Great League goes, whereas like Mega Sableye, Mega Metacham could all be pretty viable, I just really don't see any viability for the Mega Mawile. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.